A 1-year-old girl found unresponsive on a doorstep, now dead from a drug overdose, the latest in the opioid crisis. The CDC reports 93,000 overdose deaths last year, an increase from the year before.
The driving force is fentanyl. It's a cheap yet powerful synthetic opioid. It's now mixed with all types of recreational drugs. Our Lily Ortiz is in Lake Worth tonight, where authorities arrested the parents of that child.
That 1-year-old girl was found right here in front of this store, unresponsive. The cause of death, fentanyl intoxication. Now her parents are behind bars. Palm Beach County State Attorney says this is a crisis, and we got an update on what they're doing to get it off the streets. Murder charges against the parents of a 1-year-old who died from an apparent fentanyl and cocaine overdose last month. In this newly released report, the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office says 26-year-old Charquez Giles and 36-year-old Latonia Clemons are now behind bars after that girl was dropped off on a doorstep of a family home along North Dixie Highway in Lake Worth Beach. The relative took the child to the hospital where she later died.
It is heartbreaking to see anyone die of opioid overdoses, but especially when it's a child.
During the pandemic, Palm Beach County State Attorney Dave Ehrenberg continues fighting the fentanyl epidemic. He established a task force and is arresting not only corrupt treatment centers, but those who sell the deadliest kind of opioid out there, fentanyl, a powerful, cheap synthetic painkiller.
We have helped clean up the drug treatment industry in Palm Beach County, and it's led to a dramatic drop in opioid overdose deaths. But because of the rise of fentanyl and the increased social isolation from COVID, you've seen those numbers start to tick up.
Ehrenberg says fentanyl is the cause of 95% of opioid overdoses right now.
We are now able to charge with manslaughter or even murder the drug dealer that sells the drugs that the end user dies from.
Cindy Singer lost her beloved son in 2015 to fentanyl.
It's something we hear every single day, unfortunately.
We decided that we weren't going to sit idle anymore and we were going to try and make a difference.
Singer and her best friend Stacy Katz are moms helping those in recovery find a place to live and a job through their nonprofit organization, Our Two Sons.
And unfortunately, we've met so many families in Palm Beach County that have either lost their children, like I have, or children who are in recovery and battling, like Stacy's son.
As the cheap painkiller sweeps the area, they want to reduce the number of deaths by offering a helping hand. In Lake Worth Beach, Lily Ortiz, CBS 12 News.
Palm Beach International Raceway near Jupiter is now for sale.
But as CBS 12's Al Peffler reports tonight, there are two buyers interested with two very different visions for the property's future.
This raceway here on the Beeline Highway has been here for almost 60 years, but it could soon disappear, a possibility that some say is almost unthinkable.
For me, it's really sad because they're hard enough to get racetracks, a new track built anywhere.
1985 Indy 500 winner Danny Sullivan, now a Palm Beach Gardens resident, lives just a few minutes from Palm Beach International Raceway and has driven the course several times.
This track is so ideally located for so many events, and it would be a pity to have it go away. It's a great track. It's got a huge history.
Paul Newman and Mario Andretti drove here over the years, but its days of thunder may be numbered. One buyer wants to bulldoze the 2.2-mile racecourse and drag strip and turn the site into warehouses.
It's an iconic facility that has a lot of memories for race fans in the community here.
Al Gabord owns Formula Race Promotions. He's offering $55 million to keep the track and drag strip in place and grow it into a first-class facility again.
We can turn this into an absolutely spectacular venue for the community.
A group called SavePalmBeachRaceway.com has already collected thousands of signatures on a petition hoping to preserve the raceway as part of Jupiter's history.
It's a unique facility to have, and if you lose it, you'll never get another one.
What do you personally think should be done with the property?
I think it should be industrial property, but again, it's not up to me. It's up to the buyer and the seller.
County Commissioner Maria Marino, whose district includes the track, thinks warehousing makes sense because the site is on the Beeline Highway with direct access to the Port of Palm Beach. With a possible sale in the near future, that hasn't stopped racing here. Road racing and drag racing are scheduled here in mid-September.
Florida is in the middle of its third spike as local funeral homes are operating at or near capacity.
Yeah, our Andrew Lofholm continues our live team coverage tonight. He's outside the Palms West Funeral Home over in Royal Palm Beach with how they're handling another influx in cases. Andrew?
They've had 2 COVID-related deaths come here just today. Overall, the record for deaths in a month is 90. With 5 days left here in August, they could break that record.
We talked to you in January. You were seeing record numbers. Summer rolls around. Things had calmed down. Yes. But now, where are we?
Well, it's picking up again, and it's picking up worse than it was before.
Julian Almeida and his staff at Palms West Funeral Home are the support for someone's final act.
It's really sad to see some of these families that are suffering because they couldn't see their loved ones at the hospital when they were there. But here at the funeral home, they could see their loved ones once we do the embalming. The embalming will kill the COVID-19 virus.
What's different for this COVID wave? There are no mask mandates or restrictions on how many people can gather indoors.
In reference to wearing a mask at the funeral home, we recommend it. I don't impose it. But my staff made a conscious decision to wear their mask at all times.
Is it frustrating to see, I guess, the irony of people coming to a funeral for somebody that died of COVID and they're not wearing a mask?
They're not wearing a mask. That's the most ridiculous thing. If you're coming in here to pay your respects to your friend or your loved ones and you do not want to wear a mask, you're taking your life into your own hands. I keep saying that. Wear a mask, you know. Put your pride away. Just wear the mask.
For those who aren't embalmed, their refrigerators are always close to full. Cremations are constant, with multiple funerals daily trying to keep up with the unsympathetic demands of COVID.
We can schedule everybody that comes in. The problem comes when a family member wants to have tomorrow or the next day or maybe this particular weekend, and we are already full.
He encourages people to get vaccinated that haven't. He knows what the virus is capable of.
I have a son who was not vaccinated. He got lucky. It took him 2 weeks, and he recovered. And so it's not that I don't know what when COVID hits, especially one of your kids having it. It's, as a father, it affects me very much. So I'm trying to help those that are going through a hard time because I know how it feels.
They started keeping track of all the COVID deaths that came through the funeral home here in July last year. They've dealt with about 150. If you do the math, that's about 11 COVID deaths per month. We're live in Royal Palm Beach. Andrew Lofholm, CBS 12 News.